bad.
Ooh, mommy like.
After 15 years of anticipation, we finally got our first look at Shrek 5. And people hate it. I never thought I'd see the day where a Shrek 5 teaser would have a devastating ratio of dislikes. Alas, the people have spoken, and they aren't vibing with any of this, from the premise of the teaser to the brand new redesigns of these iconic characters. But is this backlash warranted? Kinda, yeah. There's a reason why these aren't resonating with people, and it's not just a case of, I don't like change! So I want to break down why this teaser fell flat, and compare all the new designs to their old looks so we can pinpoint what went wrong here with constructive criticism. To kick things off, this was simply a bad reveal, which might be because they dropped this teaser 10 months ahead of schedule as revealed by the co-director. It was going to drop in December, but after Zendaya's involvement leaked, they decided to reveal it early, so maybe the concept of this teaser was rushed as a result, explaining why it's so lazy. Why is it lazy? Well, a lot of people are turned off by the first 6 seconds of this teaser shamelessly forcing in TikTok references and Shrek memes. Aside from the fact that it comes off as very, how do you do, fellow kids? Every single one of these memes were ripped straight from the internet. They didn't even try to be original with their cringe. I literally think they just typed in Shrek memes on Google Images and saved anything that didn't infringe on someone else's IP. It's no secret Shrek became a pillar of meme culture in the 2010s. Millennials and early Gen Z have absorbed tons of absurd pieces of work where the joke boils down to Shrek taking on a different form. So in an attempt to pander to our nostalgia, they tried to wink at the audience and show that they're well aware of the memes, but 1, it was lame, and 2, how is that supposed to entice me to see your film? Look, we're recreating a TikTok from 5 years ago. So? Beyond reaction images, Shrek memes aren't exactly at the top of the chain anymore. I think everyone who was there to see the memes in their prime are burnt out on them. It's been ran into the ground. So even though Shrek has always leaned into pop culture references, this came off as extremely out of touch, and honestly, like they were stroking their own ego. Look at how great Shrek is and how it remained culturally relevant over 15 years. Yeah, we already know. That's kinda why we clicked on this in the first place. And even if you caught this for the first time in a theater, you'd go from excited to annoyed in an instant. It immediately puts a bad taste in the viewer's mouth and primes them to dislike the teaser, which doesn't do the redesigns any favors. I also think the dialogue in this teaser is pretty bland and doesn't do the characters any justice. A dad being caught off guard by a sexy edit of himself, his daughter being repulsed by it, but the mom being into it. None of this feels distinctly Shrek. You could replace everyone here with a different animated family and the joke wouldn't change. The only hint of characterization you get is with Pinocchio, and even then, the idea of him making viral edits of Shrek just feels like a generic, weird character does weird things joke that's only here so his nose can extend. Not to mention it fails to convey what this film will be about beyond the fact that there's a time skip and the fam is getting old. So I guess their old age and their place in the world will be a focus of the film. You may be thinking I'm reaching. It's a teaser! When have those ever given away something major about a film? And to that, I have to point to Toy Story 4, not 5, since that teaser is just recycled D23 animations. Talk about lazy. Toy Story 4's teaser does a great job cluing you in on Forky's major role in the film and his entire existential crisis around qualifying as a toy, exclaiming that he doesn't belong with the rest of the gang and disrupting their perfect harmony. And it does a great job capturing some of the squad's toy-based characteristics through humor, as not only do you have Slink stretching out during the ring around the Rosie, but once Forky throws everyone off balance, Woody's hat falls off, Buzz's wings hit Jessie in the face, the potato heads fall apart piece by piece, and coins fly out of Ham. This teaser is how it's done. It gets you excited for the grand return of these characters, while still getting a big laugh out of you as soon as you see Forky tweaking. Shrek 5's teaser, it gets you amped for a split second before just feeling sad and hollow. But let's take a break from hating to talk about something I love. I believe the season of love should be all year round. We shouldn't only celebrate the people and things we love on one particular day. And if there's one thing I love, it's Raycon's Everyday Earbuds. The sponsor of this video, Raycon's Everyday Earbuds are perfect perfect for when you're getting swole at the gym, doing some work, or just yapping on the phone, offering premium audio that goes where you go. The mic on my phone always sounds muffled because of some water damage, but I hopped on a call the other day wearing my Raycons, and my bud told me that I never sounded better. These earbuds come with active noise cancellation, which is hard to find at a reasonable price point. Thankfully, Raycon starts at just half the price as other premium audio brands. This noise cancellation is crazy good too. It's like a mute button for the outside world. It's so easy to drown out all my responsibilities and just jam out. As someone who usually has earbuds in while working, I also appreciate the latest model's new quick charge feature. 10 minutes of charging will net you 90 minutes of battery life. So if you find yourself in a pinch and your earbuds are about to die, it won't take long for them to spring back into action. Raycon's everyday earbuds offer a nice palette of vibrant colors to choose from as well. I'm a big fan of the purple, because purple is my favorite color. What I adore most about Raycon is its sturdiness and reliability. I'm a pretty hyperactive individual, yet these bad boys stay firmly in my ear no matter how fast I'm moving and grooving. These are the most comfortable earbuds I've worn in my life. No exaggeration. I also can't get enough of these cool protective case covers. In case you haven't noticed, I have an affinity for space themes, so you know I had to get the Galaxy design. It's like carrying around a piece of the cosmos in my pocket. Not only do these look great, but they support wireless charging. I love my Raycon everyday earbuds, and I'm sure you'll love yours. If you don't fall in love with your Raycons, they offer a 30-day happiness guarantee return policy, no questions asked. Go to buyraycon.com/table to get up to 20% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 20% off everything on Raycon's website, including 20% off all headphones too, when you go to buyraycon.com/table. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into the redesigns and why so many people are turned off by them. To be blunt, they've all been Disney-fied. Their faces are more exaggerated, more cartoony, most notable with their new eye shapes. I also think the lighting, texture, and overall rendering techniques aren't doing the new art direction any favors because, again, it just looks like most Disney and Pixar movies from the 2010s. Despite the cartoonier designs, everything about the art style is leaning more into realism and trying to look as detailed as possible, which makes me think Dreamworks and Universal are focused on competing with Disney by aping their look instead of retaining what made Shrek special. Also, don't most people consider Shrek to be a satire of Disney movies? You could argue that imitating them feeds into the parody, but to me, it feels like they might be abandoning that satire aspect in favor of conforming. I'm personally disappointed because I really enjoyed the art direction of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and this feels like a pretty big regression. By the way, the people saying the redesigns and art style are following the same philosophies as The Last Wish are coping hard. These are two pretty different styles. The Last Wish is extremely stylized with a watercolor painting aesthetic that's meant to mimic classic fairy tale illustrations, from the textures to the backgrounds, which are a blend of 3D and painted 2D. They didn't just want to make the textures of everything surrounding the characters as realistic as possible with Disney lighting. They were doing their own thing, and it ruled. And in spite of the more anthropomorphic characters like Puss looking a bit more cartoony, mainly in the eyes while sporting a slimmer face, I feel like the new human characters like Goldilocks and Jack Horner still retain the design philosophy of the first 4 Shrek films while looking modern. I saw this tweet proposing a ship between Felicia and Ian from Onward, and seeing these two characters side by side actually does a great job at showing why people aren't messing with the redesigns. These two look like they could be from the same movie. They sacrificed a major component of Shrek's visual identity by pushing these more exaggerated Disney Pixar-esque faces. The charm of the Shrek films that makes the franchise so memeable is the slightly uncanny, realistic proportions and details of the faces. Most of the characters look like someone you know in real life, and I don't mean that as an insult. Unlike the outlandish, impossible to replicate expressions of Disney and Pixar, the hilarious looks characters shoot at each other in Shrek are very human. We can all make them, and I feel like that translated to most of the humanoid characters in The Last Wish. But it's already apparent from the teaser that Shrek 5 wants to lean more into the cartoony, larger-than-life expressions found in other animated films, and while I don't think that's inherently a bad thing, it is disappointing to see. It makes me worried that they're going to lean into it a bit too hard and plaster wacky expressions all over the film in an attempt to maximize the memes. I'm willing to change my mind once we see more, but for now, it just doesn't hit the same. Let's go through each design, in order from worst to best. Magic Mirror. They yassified my boy and gave him cheek fillers. I guess switching it up, but why are we trying to make the mirror mask hot? It's just so unnecessary. Donkey. I like how they're showing his age with a tuft of hair under his chin, looking like a goatee, but I hate the hair on top of his head. I get that it's supposed to be thinning and he's past his prime, but I just think it looks dumb. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's in desperate need of a cut. Also, the new eyes make him look like another old talking animal character from an animated film. Just generic. My boy Donkey deserves better. Pinocchio is a downgrade. He has a thinner, more oval-shaped head, which somehow makes him look way less unhinged and therefore not as funny to look at, and his wooden texture isn't as pronounced. Not a fan. Fiona. Honestly, the internet's been going way too hard on her. The most noticeable difference is her lips are thinner and her hair is being worn in a more casual manner, which I just think is them leaning into the whole thing about aging and being out of their prime. But clearly, the lips go a longer way in changing her appearance than people anticipated. Still, she looks fine. Our boy Shrek. The shape of his head is definitely a bit slimmer, which also changed his nose a tad, and he shows signs of aging with spots on his forehead and face wrinkles, but I think it really is the eyes that's throwing people off. They're closer together and a bit larger with the new art style. People have been doing their own edits trying to fix it, but I don't hate it. I just need to get used to it. I think he looks great in the first shot of the teaser before Magic Mirror comes on screen, even if he has a classic case of Dreamworks face. If the teaser only showed Shrek, people would have warmed up to the new design fast. Last but not least, Felicia. Major improvement, even if she does look like she walked out of Onward. This isn't even a contest. Those babies looked horrifying, and while I wish we could glean more of her personality from the fit, I'd take this over something that's closer to that any day of the week. I really do think I have a bigger beef with the art direction in terms of lighting, rendering, and textures more than I do the actual designs. I would have preferred them to stick with the Last Wishes approach. That movie made me excited to see Shrek again in that style, but it is what it is. Maybe they'll tweak it, though we're not getting another ugly Sonic situation, like, ever again. Stop asking for that. It's getting annoying. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours. How do you feel about the new Shrek designs? Love them? Hate them? Is the internet overreacting? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to check out Raycon, and if you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like, and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Peace!